And here we go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to IGTV. With me today is Professor Darren Hayes from Pace University. Darren, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, Joe. How are you?
Not bad at all. We've got a case in front of us today, and this one is currently in front of the courts. U.S. v. Daniel David Rigmaiden. Why don't you give us a little background on this case and tell us what's going on?
Sure. Okay. So this guy by the name of Rigmaiden, he allegedly stole $4 million by filing 1,900 fraudulent tax returns. The FBI had been looking for him for quite a while, and ultimately they used a device known as a stingray to capture the suspect. Now, a stingray is a device that acts like a cell phone tower and is used to help locate missing people, including if somebody was missing in a disaster like an earthquake. Now, in this case, the defense has argued that there was a Fourth Amendment violation, that the use of this stingray device did require a warrant. And Rigmaiden also states that he was in his home when the stingray was used. And he's looking also to view the stingray device and evidence that was on that device. And the prosecution, on the other hand, has said that there's no expectation of privacy when using a cell phone, and they are unwilling and unable to show such a device because it is secret. It is only sold to law enforcement, to government agencies, and the court allows the capture of real-time data from Verizon using a court order according to the prosecution. The decision in this case is pending, but it will be interesting to see how this turns out because it's going to have implications for the use of these types of devices in capturing wanted suspects.
Yeah, you bring up a very, very interesting case here. And is Stingray a federal device, a state device, or a local law enforcement device?
It's currently being used by law enforcement. These devices are only sold to law enforcement and some government agencies. So the government is obviously very reluctant to share information about the device, especially in a trial like this.
So this, you're being quite a provocateur here, to be honest with you, because now, I guess, we're talking about airwaves, essentially, but it's emanating from my private house, and I am, of course, the king of my castle. So, no one should be able to come in my castle or for that matter, really know what's going on, right?
Sure. There is something called pen register, and pen register does allow law enforcement to be able to capture information from service providers like Verizon with information like your telephone numbers or numbers that you're calling. So they don't need a search warrant for that. But in this case, the defense is saying that there's a lot more information being collected, such as the location of the individual. And so therefore, in this case, there should have been a search warrant. So it'll be interesting to see how the judge decides on this case.
So is this one of those deals where law enforcement goes over to a carrier with an administrative subpoena, or was there no subpoena at all involved here?
There was just merely a court order involved in this case, and the prosecution is arguing they didn't need a search warrant in order to use this device. Now, from a certain point of view, you could see that law enforcement were unable to find the suspect because even the suspect in this apartment, he had rented this apartment under false pretenses. He didn't use his real name. He used somebody else's information.
Oh, well, you I don't know if you watched my expression there, but it turned measurably. I was thinking that maybe Mr. Rigmaiden was going to win this case, but if he's been using false data all along and doesn't even identify himself as the owner of the apartment, I wonder what his right and privileges would be to privacy.
Sure, and I guess the idea is that this case can really set a precedent in the use of tracking down individuals using new technology devices, and it is going to be interesting to see how this case turns out because it will set a precedent, we believe.
Well, once again, this has been Professor Darren Hayes from Pace University. Darren, thank you very much in bringing this case to our attention, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the future.
Great. Thank you, Joe. It's been a pleasure.
All right. Bye now.